Yeah, so the purpose of this is to write a subprogram called calculate total. Takes in two numbers as parameters. And what are these two numbers or the inputs? Price is one, the quantity is another, and then it will multiply the two and return the total cost. Since we need to return the total cost, this is to be a function. And the main program will call the function by passing two arguments, that is going to be the price and the quantity. So we need to ask the user to enter the price and the quantity separately inside the main program. Okay, I'll give you 5 to 10 minutes. Can you try it?
So basically, we use a function to call it again in the when we go more with our code, but the procedure is just a one time thing.
Not really, Tariq, Tashik. I mean, both the procedure and the function can be called any number of times. Any number of times. Okay. The difference is, let me take this one for example. Okay. This is the one we did in the previous class. So
Yeah.
here's a function, taking two parameters, adding them together, and we get the total. Okay. Right. Now I'm going to call down. This is my main program. This right. Anything written outside the functions or the procedures belongs to the main program. So this area is the main program.
Hmm.
Right. And remember, the function has to be defined first before you call it in the main program. So
Hmm.
now I'm going to call the function uh, total equals sorry, total brackets, and I am passing two numbers. Right. So I want the function to calculate the total and return it to me. So I'm going to have a variable here called t, which will store the returning total. So I'm calling this function. It's calculating the total, even though the name is the same. This is the function name and this is the variable name. It is returning that total back to me.
Okay.
And I'm the main program. I store it in a variable called t. Right. So why did I ask it to return? Well, I want to use this t further. For example, maybe I want to check the value of t. If t is greater than, let's say, this is, let's say out of 200, if it is more than 175, I'm going to print selected. Else, I'm going to print uh, not selected. Right. So what I did was, based on the return value, I add further processing inside my main program. So I wanted it to give it back to me. Now you might think, okay, why didn't we do this inside the function itself? Well, if you want, you can do that as well. But then the function will get more complicated and it'll have more uh, functionality. So it all depends on how you break down the problem. So
Okay, okay. Okay.
if
So if we did this in a procedure, we
uh,
wouldn't be able to
returning,
be. Uh, so we
if
wouldn't
you
be able to do that equals total. We wouldn't be able to do that.
no, I mean, we don't need any variable here. Now let me turn this into a procedure, right? Okay. Now this is a function. Now, because this is a function, I can separate this one from the function. Okay. So the function does only the addition because the name says total. So it does what it is named for. It's not
Yeah.
checking any results. So the result is checked in the main program. Let me say result or something. So this is more sensible for me. Like I know this function does only the total, and in the main program, I'm doing the result. Now, if I turn this into a procedure, I don't need this. There's no return. I can simply put this into the procedure. Remember to indent this. Okay, and then I don't need a variable because it's not returning anything. I don't need this variable equal because it's not returning anything. And you can see the procedure is printing inside itself. So all I need to do is just call the procedure. Now, if I run this, T is not defined. Okay, so it can't be total, it should be T, or else I need to use total here, right? Total. There you go. Right?
Uh,
Now,
oh,
now the procedure does everything, and the main program doesn't need to do anything. It doesn't really require any return value or anything. It is all done by this. But compared to the previous result, what has happened is like this has become a bit more complicated and more lines are there, and it is actually doing two functionalities. One is adding, the other one is checking. So if you want
ah,
to, yeah,
yeah, yeah.
that's it. It all depends on the purpose and how you break down the problem.
Okay, okay. I got that.
And also remember, when we get a result into the main program, like this, okay. So I have the total here. I have the total here. I don't need to process it inside the main program itself. I can even pass this to another function. Okay, now for example, let me put another function called average. And average is going to get two values, the total and the number of values. So I'm going to get total and the number of values, two parameters. And what it's going to do is going to have a variable called abg, take the total, divide it by the number of values. So the purpose of this function is to calculate the average, but it's going to take the total.
Yeah.
And it's going to, let's say, return the average. To whom? To the main program. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to send the t, which is the total, return from this function to this function. So there what happens is I'm getting the result from one function and putting it to another function. And I need to
I
do it like this. I need to call the average function, pass the t, which is the total, along with the number of values. So we are sending two numbers. So I'm going to send two. Okay, now it's going to, t is going to be taken by total, two is going to be taken by values, and then both will get divided, calculate the average, return the average. Now remember, when it is returning the average, if you really want to hold the value, the result, you need a variable. So I'm going to call this, okay, let me call this mean, okay, equals. So if you use a variable, the returning value will be stored. Otherwise, you can simply print using the print function without storing. Right, now this is an example where the output or the result of one function was passed into another function. Who did that? The main program. Now, if you look closely, you see it's more neat and more efficient, right? We have a function for total, we have a function for average, and the main program has just two lines of codes controlling two functions, taking the return from one and passing it to another. So it all depends on how you break it down. Got it?
yeah.
Yeah. So it comes with practice, right? More you practice with the functions, you will understand the purpose of this, right? Right.
Okay, okay.
It's perfectly okay for you to go for a procedure or a function, but look at the question. If they have specifically asked for a function, you need to use the return. Otherwise, you can choose on your own. Right. So can you try the second one? That's going to be a procedure. Okay. Age equals input age, def check age, age is passed. If age is less than 12, your child. If age is less than or equal to 17, or age is greater than or equal to 13. Mhm. Did you check the output? Did you check all the outputs?
Oh, what's the output I should try, sir?
Can you try 25? Put 25 and see.
Ah, you are a teenager.
Aha, that's the thing, right? Okay, you know the reason.
It's something to do with my less than or equal to 17.
Yeah, it's because you have used O there.
Ah, yeah.
Yeah.
So then
So
when
if
it's greater